Xu Ying, who saw that Francis was bound by the barrier, tried to use the opportunity to attack, and he quickly beheaded Sir Francis. Everyone was shocked to see that, and the match was over. All the soldiers cheered him as the strongest new member. Xu Ying didn't expect that he would get this kind of development. The system also gave him the title the strongest new recruit, and he also got a 30-point skill reward. And he also got a new author skill. He got the CTRL plus S skill. Using likes from readers, the skill can make himself get protection and make all attacks useless. Then he also got the CTRL plus A skill. Using likes from readers, the skill can make him temporarily invisible. And at the end he got an unknown unique gift. Xu Ying was happy with the gift he received, but suddenly the king appeared. He said that this country has a talented person, a new member who defeated a mid-rank knight. It is unprecedented. And the result of the battle was very surprising. Xu Ying replied, "Is His Majesty worried that if the volunteers don't have a leader, it will be difficult to make them obey?" The king replied, "That's right. He was actually planning to make Sir Francis the leader of the volunteer army and help Prince Lodz to kill the monsters on the front line. But since he died because of Xu Ying, he appointed Xu Ying to be the temporary leader and replace Sir Francis." Xu Ying said that he was just a new member. He was afraid that the volunteer army would not obey him and asked to find another replacement. But unexpectedly, Princess Tia asked for herself to be appointed as the troop leader. Tia thought that she should take this opportunity so that she would not be called a useless princess again. Xu Ying also agreed with it. Because Princess Tia had the blood of a noble, the position was more suitable than herself. The king asked his daughter, "Are you sure?" And she nervously replied that she was sure and that she would not fail, and the king proudly appointed her as the new commander of the volunteer army. But because Xu Ying was strong enough, the king gave him the task of protecting the princess. Xu Ying was happy because he could make the plot his own, and he finally had a chance to get close to Tia. As the registration ceremony came to an end, Tia asked Xu Ying, did he already know that this was going to happen? That's why you're insisting on finding Sir Francis. Who are you? Xu Ying replied that he was just an ordinary miner. Princess Tia didn't care about his motives, but because of him she was able to realize her dreams, so she was indebted to Xu Ying. And on the battlefield, Princess Tia asked him to take care of her. As the author of her own comic, she knows Tia very well. She is a very arrogant and loser. Therefore, if she wanted to get Tia out of her prison, instead of helping her open the door, it would be better if she let Tia do it herself. Time turned to night, and Xu Ying was at the volunteer army camp. There he was praised by Mark Beresodera for obtaining Lieutenant's special rank armor, enchanted care alloy longsword, and low-rank yellow magic stone. After he saw his new equipment in front of the glass, he immediately opened his status. There he had 28 strength, but Xu Ying felt that his strength was still too low when compared to Lodz. He also said, if he wants to kill the Demon King, then he must try harder. Xu Ying also asked the Mark brothers to check the battle report sent to them. In the report it was written that Prince Lodz and the others were in the monster nest in the southwest area, and were tasked with defeating the undead army of one necromancer. There were so many of them and they were so hard to kill. The Mark brothers who read the report were terrified. Xu Ying also thought that the undead were not a big problem. The problem was the troops from other countries. They pretended to cooperate in defeating the monsters, but they actually wanted to take the magic stone from the undead king necromancer. The magic stone was so powerful that it could control death. Xu Ying thought that if he could get the stone, then he would be more confident when fighting with the Demon King. So now, Xu Ying's priority is to help Lodz fight the undead and get the magic stone before someone else takes it. Back in Skeletal Canyon, Xu Ying ordered the Mark brothers to prepare the things he had written quickly. They protested why they had to do something like this in the middle of the night. The scene goes to the battle between Prince Lodz and the undead. Prince Lodz was told to rest by Nold, a commander from the Steam Kingdom. But Prince Lodz said that it was not necessary, because everyone knew what the Steam Kingdom was planning. Nold replied, since the prince already knew, then he would compete fairly with him. Prince Lodz replied, try it. The scene moved to Princess Tia leading the troops. There she was in front of Skeletal Canyon. She ordered them to prepare themselves. But Lieutenant General Dolores replied that it should be the princess who should prepare herself, as she had never been on the battlefield before. Lieutenant General Ayla also asked the princess to stay behind them, because she was a very important person. If she got hurt, they wouldn't be able to hold her accountable. Princess Tia replied, that's not necessary, let's continue. Xu Ying, who was already a lieutenant general, said in his heart that Princess Tia, who was often considered useless by others, had little choice but to show that she was useful. Her competitive spirit would help her to improve, but it would also cause her misfortune. In the end, Su Ying had to protect her as well. The system gave him the mission to kill the Skeleton King and obtain the Necromancer's magic stone, and the comic rating would be published after the Skeleton Canyon chapter ended. Su Ying thinks that this is not easy, because there are 4 levels, and each level has many mobs and 1 mini-boss, and each mini-boss will get stronger as the level increases. Then at level 4 he will face the Skeleton King. Su Ying felt that he would not be able to defeat the Skeletal King, so he had to kill the mobs and increase his level there. He also had to collect characters that would help him defeat the Skeleton King. They entered the Skeleton Canyon. After entering the cave, Su Ying tried to find the entrance, but while he was looking, there was one skeleton that tried to attack Princess Tia. Su Ying immediately rushed to protect Tia. Princess Tia became panicked, because instead of her siblings cleaning the entrance area, why are there still monsters alive? Su Ying explained that only people who had the magic stone necromancer could kill the creatures, otherwise they would still rise again. Princess Tia also planned to freeze them all, after which Su Ying immediately slashed all the joints in the monster. The previous lieutenant generals praised the 2 of them for working well together, but they also mocked Princess Tia because she was still the rumored useless princess. Princess Tia immediately took out her magic. Su Ying panicked because Tia became angry. She tried to calm herself down, but her magic was already heading for the 2 lieutenant generals, and it turned out that Princess Tia directed her magic at the monster behind the lieutenant generals and managed to freeze the monster. Princess Tia replied, "Don't underestimate him." Su Ying was proud of Tia and said to the lieutenant generals, shouldn't they be thanking Princess Tia? They immediately said thank you while showing their embarrassed faces. Princess Tia also thanked Su Ying for saving her before. Su Ying replied it doesn't matter because it's her responsibility. Princess Tia asked why she knew that only people with the Necromancer's magic stone could kill undead completely. Even she herself does not have such information. Su Ying became confused, but Princess Tia did not press him and said to forget about his question and invited him to continue this journey. Then the system appeared and told her that every undead she killed, she would get 1 skill point. Inside Skeletal Canyon, they were attacked by many undead. They were almost desperate because the number of undead was increasing. But they still had hope in Princess Tia. She had iced magic, and finally they could consider Princess Tia as a reliable person. Thanks to that magic, the undead can freeze instantly and can stop their movement. After they defeated the undead, they continued their journey, but in front of them there was a forked road. Lieutenant General Ayla asked, "Which way are we going to take?" Then the princess replied that the right path was on the left, because there were traces of a battle that seemed to be the former battle of her brother. But Su Ying asked them to split up, and she would head to the left path with the princess and the others to the right. Lieutenant General Dolores protested why they had to split up, even though they already knew which path was the right one. Since Su Ying had more information about the cave, Princess Tia agreed with Su Ying's decision. Su Ying was also happy that his plan could go smoothly, before he leaked information to Princess Tia, so that she could be suspicious of him and make Princess Tia think that he had a special reason for choosing the right path. Su Ying thought, by taking a separate path, can we defeat the mini-boss skeleton general in this level? Otherwise, with the weapons he's holding, it's impossible for us to defeat him. They immediately continued their journey by taking a separate path. On the right path, Princess Tia asked Su Ying why, since they entered this tunnel, they hadn't met any monsters, even though they had been walking for quite a while. After resuming their journey, they found large empty caves. Princess Tia again asked, "What do you think, Lieutenant Su?" Su Ying explained the undead were created from humans. Even though they are monsters, they still have a human-like lifestyle, and these large empty caves must be where the undead live. But because of the attack by Prince Lodz and their invasion, all the undead have left their territory. Princess Tia replied that it made sense, and she said to Su Ying, so he meant to take the right path to avoid the battle since he already knew everything. Su Ying replied that why would she avoid a fight? Then Princess Tia continued, just like before, Lieutenant Xu knows things that no one else knows, and she is always calm in the face of any situation, as if she already knows what will happen. Su Ying's body trembled, and she said in her heart that now she is not calm, and she wondered why it still hadn't come out. Then suddenly one of the caves gave off light. It turned out that there were undead coming out of the portal, and the undead said finally all the troops have left. It's time to clean up. But the undead was surprised why there were still humans here. Then Su Ying planned to catch the undead and tried to chase it. But the undead went back into the portal and suddenly Su Ying and Princess Tia just disappeared. The soldiers who followed them both rushed to report this to Lieutenant Dolores. The two of them apparently entered the portal following the undead. Princess Tia was in pain because she hit her head, and Su Ying was in front of the undead. The undead begged not to be killed because he was just a cleaner. Su Ying said that he couldn't kill him anyway, and it was okay that he wouldn't bother him. But we could offer him some help. Su Ying explained that it wasn't just the soldiers that were resurrected, but the Skeleton King also resurrected ordinary people as well. They had a low rank, and they also couldn't walk in ordinary tunnels. They could only use the purple portal called Narrow. They used that to move around after completing their cleaning tasks. Although they couldn't move to other levels, but they could go anywhere in this level. After Su Ying offered to help, the undead asked, "Can you really help me leave this place?" The undead told the story of his life, who had been doing cleaning duties for 135 years, and he was always tortured and humiliated by the skeleton warriors here, although he wanted to commit suicide and escape from here. But he could not do that because of the restraints of the Skeleton King. Su Ying also said that he knows how hard your life is here. Princess Tia, who heard the story, cried and she said, "Take it easy. She will help him get out of here." Su Ying said in his heart, "Wait, princess, I haven't even said the conditions." Then Su Ying gave his conditions that he would help her if he could take her to a certain place. On the other side, the soldiers were struggling against the skeleton general who was the mini-boss in level 1. The battle continued. Lieutenant Ayla tried to attack the undead, but she was easily bounced off by the shield of the skeleton general. They'd also tried to attack using magic, but the magic attack did not work on the skeleton general. Lieutenant Dolores thought that the shield used by the undead felt familiar. There used to be a general in the West who was proficient in defense. It was said that his shield was almost never penetrated. The shield could protect him from both physical and magical attacks. He waited for his enemy to run out of stamina, then he killed him. Dolores thought, could he be the one who was resurrected by the Skeleton King? He must have retained the same fighting style as when he was a human. Dolores was confused on how to defeat such a monster. Then suddenly Su Ying appeared from behind the skeleton general with Princess Tia and skeleton cleaning using Narrow. Previously, Su Ying explained that the skeleton general at level 1 was a general named Monty. He had a very strong defense and direct attacks would not work on him. Princess Tia shouted to Su Ying, "I was right. You know all the things I don't know." Princess Tia was annoyed that he ignored her and went on with his words. Su Ying said that the only way to win was to attack her from two different sides. Su Ying asked for the skeleton's name, and it was Wally. Su Ying asked Wally to take him behind the skeleton general. Su Ying thought, if he can utilize Tia effectively, he can turn the situation around. The scene returned to the battle. Dolores attacked the skeleton from the front, and the skeleton blocked her attack using its shield. Su Ying tried to use the opportunity and ordered the princess to use her magic. Princess Tia thought that she was the commander. Then Princess Tia took out her ice magic, and her attack managed to freeze the skeleton's shield. Su Ying immediately rushed to attack, and with one slash she cut off the skeleton's hand. Lieutenant Ayla was shocked. Where did he come from? Lieutenant Dolores irritably said, so Su Ying's intention of dividing into two groups is so that he can be used as a sacrifice, and he can attack secretly. Su Ying said, "What are you waiting for? The shield is down. Hurry up and attack him." But Su Ying felt something was wrong with the skeleton. The sword held by the skeleton had a green crystal. Su Ying also recalled that when he drew the skeleton's weapon, he put a paralysis stone on the sword because he felt it would be too strong. Su Ying removed the paralysis stone on the sword. Su Ying was very surprised because he had obviously removed it. But why did the sword still have the paralysis stone? Su Ying shouted, "Wait, don't go near it." But it was too late. The three of them who were heading towards the skeleton were hit by a slash from the sword, and they all fell down immediately. Princess Tia said, "Damn." Princess Tia, who saw the incident, wanted to help them, but she was stopped by Wally. He said, "You are a magician. If he attacks directly, he will definitely lose immediately." Tia was annoyed because she couldn't do anything. Wally was scared, because if the skeleton knew he was helping them, he would be killed. Tia replied, "But you're undead." Su Ying, who was hit by the sword, could not move his body. He recalled the moment when he fought Subterranean. There he had erased Subterranean, but because he opened the barrier so Subterranean could be free from there, whereas now he didn't do anything. But why did the sword he had erased still appear here? Xu Ying asked the administrator, but even the administrator didn't know the cause of the sword appearing. The paralysis he experienced would last for 1 minute, but before the time was up the undead wanted to cut him down. Xu Ying also looked resigned, but from behind appeared a magic attack from Princess Tia. Then Tia's magic bounced back to him. But unexpectedly, Wally came forward and said, "Princess, please do what you promised me." Then, when the freezing magic hit him, Wally asked Princess Tia to take his body if he could get out of here, and he also gave something to Princess Tia. Because time was already stretched, Xu Ying was finally able to move again. But before he tried to move, the undead stabbed Xu Ying in the chest. Fortunately, before that he had gotten the CTRL+S skill. By using that skill, Xu Ying could ignore all attacks for 10 seconds. After that, Xu Ying quickly cut down the undead and he ordered Tia to attack immediately. And finally the general undead froze and was defeated. Xu Ying was relieved to have defeated the monster, but Princess Tia was very disappointed. Xu Ying asked, "Why were you disappointed?" Princess Tia explained that before Wally froze, he told her why he wanted to leave this place. Wally and his best friend died on the same day because they were attacked by bandits. He thought that dying with his best friend was not a bad thing, but instead he was resurrected by the Skeleton King and forced to go to Skeleton Canyon as a cleaner. He wanted us to take him back to his village, but he helped Princess Tia instead. Xu Ying thinks that Tia's freezing magic is impossible to break, and even though Wally is undead, being exposed to Tia's magic causes all 5 of his senses to be sealed. It's just like he's dead. Xu Ying tried to comfort Tia, saying that if she made it out of here, she promised to bring Wally back to life. Tia wondered if that was possible. She doesn't know about royal magic. Then Tia said, "Really?" Xu Ying replied, "Of course." Then the door opened. Princess Tia ordered her soldiers to enter the portal to the next floor. And Tia said, "Our next task is to help the group that has arrived and kill the Skeleton King."